Hello everybody, Average Joe again. Today we're going to be doing a trail hike. It's a very easy, quick trail. It's anywhere from 0.65 to pert near 3¼ miles depending on what maps you look at. But it is the Hawksbill Trail over here in Linville Gorge. It's a nice little fun one, 800-foot elevation change. Should be fun, and I can't wait to show you all the views from the top of it. It is well worth it. Now I know a lot of people on little hiking forum boards on Facebook always kind of curious about how the trails are, whether or not they'll be able to do them. This is just going to give you a quick preview. This is about half of the trail. Once we get to the base of the mountain and start doing a good little elevation hike, it kind of kicks up a little hard, but it's well traveled. A few little rocks here and there, but nothing too strenuous. If you're a little more inexperienced, I do recommend bringing some poles with you. I've been doing this for a long time. I still carry mine. Okay, so we're getting a little bit further along the trail. You can see it does get a little more rocky through here. And this is about what it's going to look like from here on out. You're just going to start coming uphill. But it's fun and well worth it. Now what makes the Linville Gorge such a beautiful trail to hike? The rhododendrons create tunnels and trails that you normally wouldn't see on other mountains. And you've got the natural rocks create little overhangs, neat little places. So whenever you get one of these random Linville storms that happen so frequently, there's always places to hide out and wait it out. For this trip I did pack my rain jacket just in case. We had a nasty severe thunderstorm earlier, even though they forecasted it to be clear. But we'll see what happens the rest of the evening. Coming up on our first little T-point. I will commend them. This is one of the few trails where they actually have some nice signs occasionally. Let you know where the parking is. That way, takes you up to Hawksbill. And that's the trail that connects you from Standing Bear. So, nice little couple camp spots along the way too, hidden back in the holler. But let us continue onward and upward to the great known. So we just passed that Hawksbill sign back there. One thing I do want to point out, because I made the mistake the last time I was up this way. Right past that sign, the trail splits. Got left, and you got right. Both will take you to the top of Hawksbill. We're not that far away. This on the left is a little easier of a path. The one on the right, a little more strenuous and just a smidge more length. And since I'm 37 and out of shape, we're going to take the shorter way. It's steep. Carry plenty of water. I've got a few extra pounds in my pack this time because I loaded my platypus up before we left. I've got 2 extra bottles of water. Take your time. There are several rocks to sit on along the way so you can catch your breath. Take every opportunity because you don't have good cell phone signal till you get to the top. Now you're going to get to this bend. You're going to come around this tree and you're going to look up and you're going to see that. And you're thinking, what have I done in my life to end up here? Why didn't I do better in school? Why couldn't I have lived life a little better? But don't fret, because just at the peak of that, which we're going to take this way, but at the peak of that is the mountaintop, and it is well worth it. And we're trudging along pretty good. You're thinking to yourself, crap, so many rocks. But another beautiful part of Linville Gorge is this. There are so many great views the whole way up. And you just think it can't get better. But it does. Okay, you've made it. Thanks for tagging along. Glad y'all kept up. You kept a steadier pace than I did. Now to show you, that's the trail we just come up. That's that little peak I just pointed at and said that's the top of it. And here we are at the peak. Doesn't seem that spectacular, but we haven't come around the edge. I just wanted to point out that this If you ever come up here and go tenting, there's a good little tent spot. I myself am a hammock camper, as you figured. But through this trail is the beauty and the majesty that is the gorge. Bum bum bum. Hold your breath. Make a wish. Count to 3. Come with me. And you'll see a world of pure imagination. For those of you that have hiked the gorge and are familiar with the area, down there, Wise Man's View, Table Rock. And here we are at the top of the world. Stay tuned as we set up camp. Now that I've had a chance to catch my breath and relax, come out here a little closer to the cliff edge. You can see the river down there. And the storm clouds coming in. And up there in the woods is where I'll be sleeping tonight. A little too windy to be here at the edge. So once again, this is where we came in at. That leads out to the cliffs. This little spot back here I'm going to attempt to hang between these 2 trees, because all these trees right here are going to act as a good wind break. And here in the mountains it gets pretty windy out here, especially with the storms that are calling for tonight. But I've never had a chance to go over my gear. Got a little 70-liter REI Traverse backpack. I've had it since I started hiking. Went with the 70-liter at the time because I overpacked tremendously bad. And I did for this one, but this is because it's only a 3/4 mile trip. Got my hammock and under quilt, my little top quilt. I hope I got my top quilt. Yep, there's my top quilt. Tarp. Food, which is going to be interesting to find a spot to hang that tonight. My little cook set. Good little bit of light reading. And a little bit of libation. And since we are on a state park, if anyone asks, this is just sweet tea. Normally it's in a flask, but the flask got left at home. But here shortly we'll have everything set up. We'll always hang the tarp first, just in case a random storm does decide to pop up, because a couple of these clouds are starting to look dark. Alright, so got my chameleon hammock set up and the net on, because you can see some of the bugs already starting to fly around. My hammock gear under quilt, God bless that thing. With that and a light down blanket is the only thing I'm going to use tonight. It's only supposed to be getting down to about the 60s. I got my bare butt tarp set up. Got it pulled back and just hung to one side, since that's my view tonight. Got the pole set up in case I just want to set it up in a quick porch mode in case the rain does come. And I am going to set up my chair and go ahead and have me a little snack, and we will get back to you when the sun sets. That's about the best we're going to get for a sunset tonight, I think. The Blue Ridge Mountains are definitely earning their name. sit rep. It's 11:40 at night. The only bad part about sleeping in a hammock is when you're tied off to a tree up here in the mountains and they're really short. When a thunderstorm comes through, you get bounced around pretty hard. So right now we've got a band of thunderstorms coming through. If you listen closely, you can hear the thunder. Tarp's taking a beating. It's flashing like crazy. But so far everything's tied down and we're staying nice and warm. So, see how everything looks in the morning when we wake up. Fun stuff. Morning, everyone. Glad to see y'all up and with me this morning. The storms did come through late last night, so we do have a lot of cloud cover this morning. But even with all the cloud cover, this place is spectacular. Now I'm going to go get me a cup of tea. See how in a bit we're going to pack up camp and call it a morning. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and head back to town because I'm craving a Bojangles Cajun Filet biscuit like it's nobody's business. But anytime you're coming down, you see a view, stop. Take a moment and take a look, because even though it's the same mountains, it's never the same view. It's one of the reasons I fell in love with this place. Alright, so downward we go. Alright, coming up on the trailhead. Appreciate y'all taking the time to come along with me. Definitely look forward to doing many more with y'all. A couple days I'll be doing Carver's Gap to 19 East on the Appalachian Trail sections. Look forward to seeing y'all then. Till then, thank you everybody.